Carlos, Sacred Spiral Yoga. It's day 24 of our 28-day challenge. So today we're going to look at some full inversions, sort of suitable for beginner students. Just please be careful. Last thing we want is anybody to hurt themselves. So if you're not quite sure if it's fine for you, just rather skip that section and carry on, or go to one of the easier videos. Okay, so we're just going to warm up a little bit at the back of the mat and stretch out the side of the body, child's pose, balasana. So connecting with our energy in our physical body, obviously intentional energy as well, focusing on the full inversions, and connecting with our attention. It's very important that we focus our attention strongly into what we're doing in the physical body, so coordinating the breath, energy, and the physical movements. So I'm going to open up the upper shoulders, arm, and down through the side of the body. So it's quite important with the stretch to resist with the lower back. So I'm actually doing backward pelvic rotation to push out the lower back to resist. So getting the breath moving, changing to the other side there. So we can firm up the abdominals and actually rotate the pelvis slightly back to push out, and that creates a strong resistance for the stretch. Relaxing there, clasping the hands at the back. So I'm going to roll the shoulders a little bit and then take the chest up and over the knees and stretch the hands up towards the sky. Soft exhalation to stretch in, and then relaxing out of there and coming up from there. So also for your handstands, like the back bends, we're going to do the reverse finger action there. So stretching the wrists out nicely. You can warm up slowly, try to engage the fingers, the base of the fingers and the palms, especially the thumb, the base of the index finger, very important. So that's normally the spots that get lost. We're not aware of that necessity. So squatting exercise, and then mobilizing the ankles. So just taking the heels up and down, stretching through, and you can hold the last one for a few moments and squash the knees together. Coming out, and I want to repeat the upper arm stretch, shoulder stretch. So it's quite important to take the outside of the shoulder, outside of the upper arm forwards as you do the stretch. That's the triceps on the outside of the arm and the deltoid on the outside of the shoulder. So that's moving forwards. Create broadness from the spine out, radiating outwards. This is a strengthening exercise. So full plank, hands right under the shoulders and the stomach firm. So try and hold for around about 30 seconds, and you can build up the timings as you sort of get your body stronger as you train with the other material. So try to aim for around about a minute, and if you really want to get nice and strong, around about 2 minutes. Just taking a rest, and then we'll do the second strength exercise. So it's basically like a press through, but we can go on the knees and do it quite slowly. So with lots of control your breathing. So steady exhalation all the way through, down and up. So 2 or 3, and then we can carry on with the reverse fingers again. Maybe try to take it a little bit further than the first time, and counter pose that on your knuckles. So pressing the knuckles down firmly. All right, second plank pose coming up, body nice and straight. So firm up the legs, firm up the stomach, shoulders, arms, no collapsing. Check your hands are nice and flat. So great handstand practice or preparation to be able to do a nice, firm, steady plank pose on your arms and your hands, fingers flat. using the base of the index finger and the thumb. Connect the breathing, nice and smooth and steady. So tension, intention, breathing, and physical body. Right, coming up into a little bit of a down-facing dog there, stretching the heels down, broad shoulders. So really just circulating the energy through the body with your attention, feeling every section of the body. Come down and relax. So I'm actually taking a yoga brick for this one, and I'm going to do a shoulder lifting exercise, which is really important for your headstands and also for your forearm balance. So I'm gripping the brick between the thumb and index finger, and the point of this is to lift the shoulders up towards the hips. I'm stretching the legs, heels high, and strongly pressing the armpits back towards the legs. So continue opening up the armpits, and again, we can start off around about 30 seconds, but we do need to build up the timing of the shoulder lifting exercise with steady lift without collapsing. I would say you need to be able to do around about 2 minutes before you want to tackle your full headstand safely. So the problem is collapsing from the shoulders and then the compaction that comes in the neck. So, all right, so we can do away with the brick and interlace the fingers, and elbows are right underneath the shoulders, and the second time round I'm going to center one foot and lift up the other. So basically like an ekapada. The heel is going down, stretching the back of the leg, the back knee, the hamstring. You can just keep the knees more or less together. Really important with the clasp interlace of the fingers, the sort of bottom, what we call the bottom chip of the wrist. That's the part of the wrist that is in contact with the mat. That needs to radiate outwards and away from your head. So that also tends to collapse. I did change to the other side there. So that bottom chip of the wrist is really important, radiating outwards. So don't squash the palms together for your headstand. You need to make a cup shape and place that cup shape at the back of the head. We'll do that in a few moments with the help of the wall. So beginner headstand you must use for safety. You really must use a wall. So I'm going to just take the mat up to the wall there. So we've got the friction of the mat. I'm going to make a little bit of a padding there. I folded the mat over twice. So I just make sure it's level and even. So you don't want to have bumps in the mat. I'm going to interlace the fingers right up to the wall there, basically touching the wall. And the same idea with the elbows right underneath the shoulders, up into the shoulder lifting exercise. So this time I place the back of the head into the cup shape, walking up to push the shoulder blades and the middle back into the wall. The back of the neck needs to be soft, so don't overstretch the back of the neck. You can basically work on this basic posture for quite a long time, and then when you're ready, you can swing one leg up and then try the second leg. And then basically you've got your head balance. Okay, so you've got the wall for safety, and from there, once you can hold that for a minute or two, you can start actually balancing by gripping the middle abdominals, so don't let the floating ribs splay out, tailbone, and the leg action. We'll look at that maybe in the slightly more advanced video. All right, so I'm coming down gently, resting. Beginner, please don't stay too long. 20-30 seconds is fine. You can rather repeat and practice it regularly. All right, so now for the forearm balance practice, I'm going to do that same action with the brick. So just get the distance round about a forearm away from the wall. Okay, so really nice way to practice with the wall. And when I kick up, it's going to be hips up over my elbows, over the shoulders, and put one foot flat onto the wall. So bent leg 90 degrees. Then it's easy to take up the second leg 90 degrees, and very safe way of beginning to practice your forearm balance. So check the abdominals there, especially the floating ribs. You don't want the floating ribs to splay out too much. So firm the middle abdominals, a little bit of tailbone, and you can see how your balance goes. You can practice the first part, strong shoulder lifting, and work up to the balance if it's a little bit difficult. So take your time, don't rush with the practice. Basically just showing us the principles in this video, and you can try it out a little bit, see how it goes. As I said at the beginning, please be careful, don't collapse, don't hurt yourself. Just train slowly and regularly, build up the strength, technique, and knowledge of what we're trying to do. All right, so we can move on to a full handstand now. So I'm basically going to measure, and this time a lower leg. So around about where my knees were, distance away from the wall, and then I can do that 90 degree with the legs. So it's the same idea. We're going to get the hips up over the shoulders, 1 foot flat. I can practice a little bit kicking up to get the hips over the shoulders. So it's an exhalation and shooting the hips up over the legs. Really important. If the hips don't come over the legs, it's basically not really possible to do your handstand. And then maybe a couple of seconds just with both feet flat. And if you want to try the balancing action, you can try the balance. It's similar action to the forearm balance. You need to control the floating ribs in front and the tailbone at the back. Relax. Just doing a little stretch out on the wrists there, and then we can flick around and start preparing for the last one, which will be the Savangasan, Salamba Savangasan. That is the shoulder balance. So just to warm up a little bit for the shoulder balancing, I'm going to plow for a little while. So don't force the plow either, just warm up for the plow. Short neck, broad shoulders, and lifting the hips, stretching the legs, feet away from the head. Clasp the hands and press down into the mat. Relax down, and just always any opportunity to do the leg stretching, we can do a quick leg stretching action. So that counters as well. And for the knee and the hips, you can draw the knee down to the mat. Swap sides. So leg stretching action, soft exhalation. That's the Padangusthasana, leg stretching action. Pull, relax, and pull the knee down to the mat beside the body firmly. And then we're going to carry on with another plow. So exhale up, use your elbows up and over, interlacing the fingers there, pressing the wrists down in the mat, lifting the hips up, and stretching the feet away. So short neck and stretching the feet away. So it's really important to feel the big 7 cervical vertebra in the mat. That's the big knobby vertebra that sticks out of the back of the neck there, at the base of the neck. You need to feel that on the mat and then radiate away from that outwards. So broad shoulders, short neck. You can use roll up the mat again, so the same way I did earlier. And you can even use a blanket if you want it slightly thicker, as long as it's a firm blanket and not too soft. So it's a little bit more forgiving on the back of the neck. Also, if you've got neck problems, it is a way to practice your shoulder balance, Savangasan. But yeah, so please don't hurt your neck. Please be careful with this posture. Supporting the lower to middle back, and then it's taking the legs up. From the chest, there is a strong downward action towards the mat, firming into the floating ribs, laminating the legs together, stretching up. Not too much tailbone in this posture. It's more a descending action from the chest or sternum down towards the mat in front. So that was really just a little quick try out of the full shoulder balance. You can relax down, take the knees up on the chest for a few moments, and bring your body back to neutral, squeezing and rocking gently. Check your breathing, relax. And then just to counter out the whole class, I'm going to do the side rolls a couple of times to the sides. Curl up in a little ball, exhale, roll to one side. Exhale, roll to the other side, just for a different energetic action. And then you can rest for a few moments with your hands on your tummy, legs bent. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed the class, and we'll see you again tomorrow for day 25.